Like you see there, Ashlesha Nakshatra has a temperament of Rakshasa, which means it has got a very tamasic element to it. That's all it means. Rakshasa means they've got a very tamasic element to it. So they have come to basically work, Ashlesha people, at the tamas level of things, at the earthly level, at the most physically condensed level of existence itself. Rakshasa are all that. So temperament of Ashlesha is Rakshasa. Varna, propensity of this nakshatra is nature, which means it is unorthodox. It is a maverick. It goes away from the mean. It goes away from the tradition. Okay? If you can see there, Rahu and Ketu both are Jyeshtha Nakshatra, which are kind of points. Yes, it's not exactly a planet, it's a point, nodes of the earth. Not when the south of the moon and in Vedic astrology are classified as Nicha, means they are unorthodox points. Now we lead to the unorthodoxy of humans as mammals, right? We have done everything unorthodox. Look at how we stay. Look at how we have created everything that we have created with our minds. This is what the nakshatra propels us to do. Unorthodoxy through the nodes of the moon. So Ashlesha Nakshatra itself is an unorthodox memory. It's like outcast. It's like outcast among the energetic framework of Vedic astrology. It's the best I can use. Its type is active, meaning this nakshatra actively goes out and participates. It is not like the balanced or the passive ones which sits back and waits for things to happen and responds to it. This is a proactive nakshatra, which means it wants to go out and do stuff. These are the hints we will type with the life lesson. It's an active nakshatra. And what is the drive? The drive of this nakshatra. What is this nakshatra giving us an energy to accomplish? That's the drive. Samhara means it's a rejuvenator. It wants to dissolve old stuff and bring new stuff. Right? There is the transformation factor of Ashlesha. See? It's ruled by Nagas, which is like snake, the divine light serpent beings who existed in Earth millions and millions ago. They have left the planet. Now the snakes that are left are just its ancestors. These were the people who knew the secret of enlightenment. These are the people who knew the secret of Kundalini, of Tantra, Tantra Yoga, Kundalini Shakti. Ashlesha knows that. Ashlesha knows these deep Kundalini aspects, the secrets of it. Okay? This is why we have so much symbology of serpents in Vedic system of tradition. Also, we have Vishnu sleeping on the Sheshna. We have Shiva with the snake coil in the around his neck. We have Ganpati, so that the Rajakshada. Okay? He's the lord and guardian of all the snakes, Ganpati. So the entire Shiva family has got the symbology of serpent. Shakti is also like that. Like the Sahasranama, which I have made, if you want to go through that, Shiva, so many of Kundalini in it. Excuse me. So the drive, the samhara, it's the propensity of the nakshatra is to rejuvenate. Okay? They are rejuvenators and they are active rejuvenators, means they will go out and transform stuff. Period. And it's Rakshasa, so it will do it at a very early level, at a very physical level of things. It's Murcha, so it will do it in a very unorthodox way. Its lord is the moon. Shlisha falls fully within Cancer, right? By the Nagas. So it's serpent energy combined with the moon's emotion, combined with the moon, the Vaishya, or the trade or the commerce category. Now, that's a very early plane of existence, trade and commerce, right? So it ties in very nicely with the Rakshasa kind of part of it, because moon is a Vaishya kind of planet. So is Mercury. By the way, Ashlesha is ruled by Mercury. So if Moon and Mercury are placed within Ashlesha in any of your charts, your chart or any of the divisional charts, it does very well because of this. In Ashlesha, Moon and Mercury do very well. You can see the reasons right there. Because it is unorthodox, because it is a Vaishya class, and because it is ruled by Moon, of course, Moon will be born in Cancer, so will Mercury. Because Mercury is a Vaishya kind of a planet. Now let us dive into life lesson and see how these things which we discussed tie into life lesson. Okay? The life lesson of Ashlesha is to live seductively without being seduced. Grace with dance, Ashlesha means embrace with dance, yet be ready to change. Why is this the thing? Well, Ashlesha has a theme of being snake-like, which means snakes are highly sensitive, highly protective, highly intuitive by nature as creatures. This theme carries into the Ashlesha Nakshatra also. Because of this theme carrying over to the Nakshatra, we have a theme of protectionism, a very highly guarded, protective Nakshatra. Ashlesha, who have a strong presence in their charts, have a sense of a boundary, a very strong boundary around them. Very highly intuitive. They can perceive the intuition of the moon plays out maximum in Ashlesha. Intuitions of the moon. The intuitions of our clients, we shall see that later on. The intuition of the moon plays out dominantly in Ashlesha Nakshatra because of this characteristic of snake-like intuition. They know stuff. They are ground sensitive. They are powerful. So the protectionist mechanism of Ashlesha wants to guard itself more and it wants to go out and do stuff. You see how this ties in. See, the drive has been samhara, rejuvenators, and type is active. The snake can just sit there and curl up and sleep all day long and not bother to be going to see what's happening in the world outside. It can't afford to do that. This is the life lesson. It has to go out and do stuff. It has to be active to participate, and it has to do it in unauthorized ways. That's another challenge for Ashlesha. And it has to rejuvenate. It has to change stuff. Ashleshas are powerful change makers in wherever they live. And they will not do it traditionally, they will do it unorthodox. And they will be well powerful at what they do because the Rakshasaganas have that kind of an early power. Okay? All Rakshasaganas have a very strong, early, intuitive psychic power. Don't underestimate Rakshasaganas. It's not that you guys are all dumb and they can't do anything. No, 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 no. You're getting the whole thing wrong. Then you need to understand this once again. Okay? Rakshasa Ganas are one of the most powerful also. Just like on the other hand, Dev Ganas are. We are living in times where Dev Ganas and Rakshasa Ganas need to work or be able to work together. That's why I'm bringing in this stuff. If you look at the themes of Ashlesha and if we tie it to the D10 archetypes, the deities of the D10 chart, right? The angles. The deity is divided into 10 parts. There you have it in the table there, the white table. What kind of deity would work well for the Ashlesha? You might ask. What works well? They are rejuvenators. What can we see here? Which is rejuvenating. 9 to 20 degrees, Asura, Sura class, Rakshasa Gana. See there? Right there. Competitive spirit, try to succeed, ambitious, change makers to traditional ways of work. What did we just say? They are unorthodox ways. So they need to do it in unorthodox ways. They are the unorthodox change makers. And they need to be active. Actively rejuvenating the Rakshasa style, if you can call it that, the Tamasic style, if you want to call it that. So they will do well, planets and points at 9 and 12 degrees, which are the Asura class, which means they get competitive spirit, try to succeed, ambitious change makers to traditional ways at work because they have the Nilecha class. It's a hard pronunciation, but yeah, that's what it's called in Sanskrit. With discards, the outcasts are Nilecha. The people who want the discards of the society. Society wants to stick to traditional ways, structured ways. These people are unorthodox class, very good ones, very needed, especially in the world today, to break the tradition and go out of the tradition and define new ways of thinking, new ways of thought process. No, no, no. What you guys are doing is just too ignorant, too stuck up. Just step outside this thing and let's do it this way. Because they are early. Exercise very early. So, and they are Russia class, so they might need change traditional ways of trade, commerce, economics, finance. So 9 to 12 degrees in deep firm chart is good for Ashlesha. If especially there is Mercury in it, they can become very good tradesmen. So Jyeshtha Nakshatra over there, number 18. Let's start from the top. Temperament is Rakshasa, which means what? It is more tamasic. It is more hell bent upon getting stuff what it wants. All the Rakshasa Ganas, you must understand, are highly competitive, highly driven, To accomplish things at any cost. The means justify the end. Sorry, the end justifies the means, right? So the temperament is Rakshasa. So right at the bat, you must consider Rakshasagana as someone who is a go-getter type of nakshatra. The Lord, in this case, being Scorpio, it is even more. So if Mars is placed in Jyeshtha, it will be even more stronger, if you will. Whenever the Lord of the sign is placed within the particular nakshatra, it fuels it. It naturally provides it the fuel it needs to shine, to come forth. Just think of it this way, okay? It makes things simpler, really. So the Varna or the propensity in this case is a servant class, which means what? Once again, servant and butcher class are somewhat similar in their approach. They want to work. They are more interested in daily work kind of situation. And in this case, Rakshasa plus work means these people will like to do a lot of work, physical work, not so much as opposed to intellectual stuff. They're not more of intellectual thinkers. That is Devgana. That is different. Rakshasagana wants things, materialism. The type of this nakshatra is active. So it's already got enough energy by itself without the dispositors, without any other planet aspecting it, providing it a different kind of signature, that kind of a thing. So remember this always, yeah? The drive is samhara, which means it's rejuvenating, which means it wants to dissolve something old to bring in something new. These are all the rejuvenator class of nakshatras. All of rejuvenators are wanting to dissolve the old to bring in something new. This is the way humanity creates, by the way, all new stuff, right? The Lord is Mars, which is being in Scorpio, being a Kshatriya, which means it is driven by a need for leadership, a need for having power, a need for having authority. And it's very pronounced in Scorpio within Jyeshtha. Why? If you remember, the Lord of this nakshatra is Indra. Jyeshtha Nakshatra is ruled by Indra, just like Vishakha Nakshatra is ruled by Indra and Agni. So Indra has got this characteristic stereotype of an insecure king. Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. Typical Indra. Okay. So once again, if you see the D10 chart over there, the first and second angle, 0 to 3 degrees and 3 to 6 degrees, the Indra angle and the Agni angle will be doing very well in Jyeshtha if planets and points are there, especially if Sun or Mars are there because they are Kshatriya planets. Now, in the heart of the nakshatra, we always cover the link between type and drive. That means what the nakshatra is here to teach you, make you accomplish, shine through you as a soul, has to be tied with the life lesson, which is right there at the bottom of the screen. Life lesson of Jyeshtha is what? Recap. This is covered in other videos. Rising of power by retaliation towards exposed hidden enemies, which means it will sit silently until the enemy exposes itself and then it wants to attack. This is the other side of Scorpio. The other side of Scorpio, which will be having defense rather than offense. It is not interested in offense. It is interested in defense and it is very good at defense. It's no wonder that Jyeshtha people, especially strong Jyeshtha ND1, D10 for career purposes, end up becoming law enforcement, the police, the military. They're becoming strong guardians of defense, defensive guarding against offenders, for a lack of better word. Let's see the talents and abilities, research and analysis, legal and investigative professions, counseling and therapy, leadership and organization skills. See the word leadership keep coming on and on. All these positions which are listed there, financial management, healing and alternative medicine, these people will be, well, inclined to all of that, but more from a leadership sense. I want to be the leader in this thing, whatever it is that I'm doing there. Okay. So, Jyeshtha Nakshatra is best felt, although it is active type, although it wants to rejuvenate, it needs the hidden enemy to surface. I'm focusing on the heart of Nakshatra only here. So it needs to sit there, not go straight away towards attacking something, attacking to solve a problem also. I don't mean physically. I'm just saying if you want to go forward and tackle some problem in a corporate world or in a business world or in any one of these professions that is listed there, if you have a strongly dominant Jyeshtha Nakshatra in D1, D10, I suggest you step back. Step back. Wait, you know what your hidden enemies are because you're in Scorpio. Jyeshtha is in Scorpio. Scorpio has, by default, a ton of intuition. So you need to wait for things to come to you rather than you wait forward towards it. Okay? So in the next one, we should be doing which one? Mula Nakshatra. That's next. In the meantime, take care, be safe, and thank you for watching. So the 27th Nakshatra of Revati. Let's start at the top. Temperament is Devgana, which means it's already seeking higher knowledge, which ties in very well with Jupiter in Sagittarius, because Revati falls within the sign of, Pisces. That's incorrect. It is falling in sign of Pisces here. Varna or the propensity of this nakshatra is Shudra, which means it wants to work. This nakshatra is driven towards doing daily work, the grind of daily work, you might say. The type is balanced. Once again, balanced nakshatras are very good between action and inaction, but they must take care not to get too cynical about the rest of them. Balanced nakshatras tend to get very cynical, critical of others who are doing the work because they tend to not know when to take action and when to stop. Both. The drive of this nakshatra is samhara, which means this is also a rejuvenator. It's not here to create something new. It's here to understand something of what already is. Huge difference in approaches here, folks. The Lord is Jupiter because it falls in Pisces. Correction there. It's a Brahmana planet, so it is driven towards really seeking knowledge and wisdom because the temperament is also Dev. So the Revati Nakshatra will drive a person if it is dominant in your natal chart to your personality, in your Navamsha, with your spouse, and later on in life in Dashamsha in your career. It's that simple. The principle of nakshatras is the same. That's why I'm focusing myself on the principles underlying every nakshatra. But all these nakshatra series are towards that. Once you understand the principle, one can have power to refine them, understand them in their life in a way that makes sense to them. Each one has to make sense for themselves, seriously. So we are talking about Pisces. It's a water sign. Jupiter in a water sign. Imagine that. It's a moksha sign. Last, final. So what is a life lesson? The heart of the nakshatras, as we discovered in the last 26, is all about tying the type and drive, which is mentioned at the top, to the box in the bottom, which is life lesson. Life lesson of Revati is finding nurturing and love with true companions. That's the nourisher. Revati wants to be nourished in order to be the nourisher. Okay. Revati's challenge is to find that companion or companions or partners or collaborators, if you want to call it that in terms of D10. Revati wants to find that true companion in order for it to be fulfilled, and bringing that nourishment forth to the external world means I need to find true love in order for me to be able to give true love. You see what I'm saying? I need to be able to be content and find true companions. It's the word there. finding and nurturing and love with true companions, the nourisher for self in order to feed true caring for others. This is the challenge of reality. One needs to find something for themselves in order to be feeding that true love and that sense of being fulfilled in reality to others. Then Revati can shine. The life lesson, once you tie into the type and drive, fulfills the heart of every nakshatra. What is the type and drive? It is balanced. It is samhara. It is seeking to rejuvenate something. In case of Pisces, the last of the moksha signs, what might that be? That would be something like sharing through caring and nourishing others. Look at the kind of careers it is suitable for: compassionate healing, creative arts and performance, spiritual guidance, counseling and therapy, philanthropy and social service, administration and management. Apart from the last one, all I can see is nothing to do with materials. Once again, something like Purva Bhadrapada, Uttara Bhadrapada, right? Because we are coming into the close of zodiac. When you come towards closing of the zodiac itself, the entire belt we have covered, it's like a graduation of nakshatras. It's like a soul's journey through lifetimes. Not just this one. We have finished at some point, we have finished lots of lifetimes and we are at some other point of moving forward. You might say you need to move forward in some ways. The nakshatra principle guides us or gives us clues about how this can work in our life. Okay. So once again, in the D10 chart, if your Revati is dominant, I would look at the last three angles, something similar to Purva Bhadrapada. Eighth angle of 21 to 24 degrees, Ishana, ability to find deeper purpose and meanings. Ninth angle, Brahma, 24 to 27 degrees, intellectual capacity, capability, innovative thinking, and originality. 10th angle, 27 to 30 degrees, Ananta, stability and long-lasting success and being a thought revolutionary. It's a Brahmana planet that is ruling this, and it's a Devgana. So they are capable of being revolutionaries in their career if Revati is dominant in the D10 chart as well. And those are the kind of careers it might be good for. I shall conclude these Nakshatra series, The Heart, here. Hope this has been useful for you in some way. Natal Navamsha D10, the principle of the Nakshatra carries everywhere. You have to apply it in terms of what you're doing. The area of life. Natal is your personality. Navamsha is your later life personality post 36 years of age or your behavior with your spouse. And D10 is how you apply it in career. The nakshatra is the same. You see the beauty of this. So let us conclude here. I hope this has been useful. Probably I will make something regarding Brahmana, Kshatriyas. There's some energy there. Maybe later. In the meantime, take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.